Hey guys, Elite Clinical Research Group here today, and today I want to talk to you guys about 3 skills you need to be successful in clinical research. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about 3 skills you need to be successful in clinical research. A lot of these might apply to other fields as well, so keep that in mind too if you're watching this video and you're not in clinical research. The first one is email skills. Now, this is not talked about nearly enough in any form of clinical research or any field at all. And that's because people just assume that you have email skills, that you've sent a number of emails, that you know how to send a professional email. And I might do a tutorial on this at a later date, how to send a professional email. But this is not focused on nearly enough. In the clinical research industry, we send many emails, dozens, 20, 30, 40, 50 emails a day, especially depending on your position. So the ability to communicate effectively through email, the ability to write emails with minimal, if not any, grammatical errors, the ability for someone on the other end to understand what you're saying in the email and then act quickly upon it is something that's very important in clinical research because of the sheer quantity of emails that we send. This is a skill that is extremely necessary. Patients' lives are in the balance, so it's very important to be able to send a good quality email in clinical research industry. I tend to subscribe to the philosophy that less is more, especially dealing in the emails. Don't make your emails all fluffy and have a bunch of extra words in there that don't need to be in there. Get straight to the point and make sure it's clear and concise so people can follow your directions or understand what you are saying. That's my one tip on emails. We'll do a video on this at a later date. But email, very important in clinical research. Second skill that is supremely important in clinical research is flexibility. Your ability to be flexible. What happens when something doesn't go your way? What happens when something is late? What happens when someone doesn't follow your directions? What happens when someone sends you an email at the end of the day asking you to do something that you don't feel like doing? So you need to be extremely flexible in clinical research because you never know what's going to happen. Things don't always go according to plan, even though we would like them to, and that would make things a lot easier if they did go according to plan. But things don't always go according to plan, so you need to be flexible, especially if you're in a more traveling position like a CRA or a business director or something along those lines. You need to be flexible. Flights don't always go according to plan. You might get kicked off a flight. Your flight might be running late, so you may need to be flexible. And that's where the email comes in handy because you're gonna have to send an email to somebody explaining the situation. So there again, you wanna be concise and complete and as well as detailed in the email with what's going on. So you need to be an effective communicator as well as the ability to be flexible because things don't always go according to plan. This third skill that is extremely important in clinical research is attention to detail. Any field in science, detail orientation is very necessary because you're trying to be as exact as possible. You're trying to get the best data as possible. And your attention to detail, if you're not detail oriented, you could throw that off. You could throw the balance off. You could mess up the results that you gain. And the same is true in the clinical research field. You're going to be dealing with patients. You're going to be managing aspects of the clinical trial. There's many millions of dollars at risk, sometimes billions, because it takes a long time for these trials to be completed, and a lot of money and time has been invested. So you need to make sure that you are thorough and very attentive to the details of things that are going on to make sure that things are going appropriately. If you are a CRA, you do not want to miss an adverse event or a serious adverse event that could have serious consequences for the patients and your study. If you are a project manager or project specialist, you do not want to be lackadaisical with your emails when sending them to the sponsor. They are the ones that are paying for the trial. They expect a certain level of professionalism when you are talking with them. So you do not want to be lazy or be too casual when talking to the sponsor. This is very important. So this goes back to your attention to detail. You want to make sure that you are cognizant of what's going on so that you don't make any mistakes if possible. So we talked about 3 skills that are needed today to be successful in clinical research. We talked about your email ability, that was number 1. Number 2, we talked about your ability to be flexible, your ability to change when necessary. And number 3, we talked about your attention to detail. How detail oriented are you? Now, all of these skills can be learned or practiced upon to get better at them. If you're new to the industry, I don't expect you to be amazing at all of these things, or especially if you're fresh out of college. But there are ways to get better at them. And the best way is practice, just doing them on a daily basis. Obviously, you're not going to be sending emails for no reason, but understand that once you get your foot in the industry or you get your first job, these are things you can work on. These are things you can focus and work on. My bad. These are things that you definitely want to take notice of and practice on a daily basis. You're going to be forced to practice with them. So if you like this video, guys, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and share it. If you want to leave any comments down below or have any questions, you can comment down below. We'll do our best to get back to you guys. You can email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com. We love hearing feedback from you guys. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button down below. All right, take care, guys.